Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. So today, as voted for over on my Instagram, which is at @IamKirstieLewis, if you want to be involved with the next poll, you voted for me to read for Mariah Carey. So here we are reading for Mariah Carey today. If you like this video, please hit a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, then do subscribe down below because I upload them every single week. So let's get into it. I feel like Mariah Carey is actually really easy to kind of tap into. I feel like actually she's very spiritual, and I was really surprised about this as I began to kind of tap into her energy. I could really feel that she's been on some kind of like spiritual journey, because I could see like the meditation around her and the yoga and the crystals. I could really see that, and I was actually quite surprised because I have not used this deck for a really long time, but we are pulling it out for Mariah. So let's get straight into it. I really feel at the moment that Mariah is strongly focused on being a mum and her children. I know she's with that younger guy, and I do see him still kind of being around. But I just feel like her being a mum is prominent in her kind of energy at the minute. As I was shuffling for her before, lots of cards were flipping over, so I feel like her energy is very, very open. But you know what? Like, she's an absolute diva, because the energy I really feel from Mariah Carey is that she gets knocked down 500 times and she's going to get back up, okay? I really feel like she does get knocked down a lot, but she can easily pick herself back up. At the same time, there's a lot of mixed emotions with Mariah Carey, and I know she does, well, she's recently come out and said that she suffers with bipolar. I can really feel that up and down energy with her, because on one side I see her isolated and alone and down and depressed, and then on the other side I see her very social and very out there and extrovert. So there's definitely these two elements to Mariah. There really, really is. Now, because her energy is so open, I'm really getting a lot, and there's two prominent people that keep showing up when I speak about her as her kind of support system. And funnily enough, I've got her mum really like close to her as a strong support. I really, really feel like her relationship with her mother is you know, it's good, okay? But then I also, and I don't want to say that there will ever be a reconciliation, because I don't think that there can be, but I do see Nick Cannon very, very close to her in a loving way, not just as the father of her children, but as a friend. I really feel him quite closely to her. There are really mixed cards here, and I'm not surprised, because the energy that I really felt for her is so up and down. There are elements of Mariah's life that are so filled with joy, and there are elements of her life that are really unhappy, because I feel like she has a mixture of people in her life, and there are certain people in her life who really do want to take from her, who really do want to take what she's got, and are not with her for her best interests, you know. But then we see her strength, because we've got the Seven of Wands there, which is perseverance. We've got the Devil reverse and the Temperance reverse, both of which really talk about being obsessed and tied to relationships and bonds that have no future and don't benefit you. And basically it talks about struggling with, it can talk about struggling with addictions. I don't feel like Mariah Carey's addicted to anything, but what I feel like Mariah Carey may, in terms of like drugs and alcohol, but what I feel like Mariah Carey may be addicted to is bad people. People who aren't very good for her. I don't feel like she's very good at spotting people who want to take from her. And I feel like the man that's in her life right now that she's with is not very good, and I do feel like he is one of those people who wants to take from her. The reason I say that is we have the Devil over the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords talks about facing a potentially dangerous adversary who wants something from you. You have to have a brilliant strategy to outwit him. This person is so cunning and so smart and so manipulative and good at what they do, that you can't actually see through them. Even people who can tell, you know, liars and things from a mile off would have a hard time spotting this kind of person, because they really do blend in so well, and they make it look like they're doing all these things for you and trying to help you, and they're not, okay? We've got the Temperance over the Seven of Wands, okay? So that again is the same kind of thing. The Temperance reverse talks about feeling overwhelmed, bonded to other people's demands, increasing pressures and finding it hard to cope. But over the reverse Temperance, we have the Seven of Wands, and that talks about perseverance. And if there's one thing I can tell you that I'm picking up from Mariah Carey, if there's one thing that I can tell you, this woman cannot be knocked down. It says it here, and then it's reiterated here. We have the Ten of Cups over the Justice card. Mariah Carey has been in a numerous amounts of situations in her life where she could have really been screwed over. Now, earlier I talked about her life being very mixed, but it's actually very balanced, which is really funny because we have the Justice card here. The good and the bad are very balanced in her life. She's got an amount of people who are not very good for her, but on the same side, she's got people who can spot them for her and quickly step in. So if you were to look back at Mariah Carey's life, there has been a number of times when she could have really been taken advantage of. Things could have gone really badly. She's always been very lucky because she's always been balanced by the good things. So for every bad person that's been in her life, there's been a good person. She's got very good karma, and she's got very strong karmic links, okay? Again, every bad card on this spread is outbalanced by a good card. I'm telling you now, this woman is very heavily protected by angels. She's very, very lucky. People around her would call her lucky because she's had a lot of close chances. She's like a cat. She's got 9 lives. But really it's because her life is very balanced. Like I said, for every bad person, every bad situation, there is something good. And that's not intentional. I feel like that's the way her life has always been led. Because if you think about Mariah Carey, okay, someone of Mariah Carey's stature, someone who's been in the music industry this long, what are some scandals? Apart from, like, you know, her divaness, what real scandals has Mariah Carey come across? I can't think of one. And it's because if there has been one, there's been goodness that's come after it, okay? So she's always, always balanced. Now here we have the Five of Cups, which would signify unhappiness. But underneath it, we have the Knight of Cups. So again, we've got the balance. I do feel like Mariah Carey does have days where she is severely, severely depressed, okay? And she does find it hard to get up and socialise. The Knight of Cups in this reading talks about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is very much the Knight of Cups, okay? He's a very much the Knight of Cups energy. Someone who's very social, someone who's very loving, like naturally nurturing. Nick Cannon is a naturally nurturing individual. He's basically very very giving, very caring, very generous, okay? He basically is very sociable. As we know, he likes to laugh, he likes to be around other people, he's very affectionate. And the funny thing about the Knight of Cups, if you read up on the Knight of Cups, it talks about this person being really amazing and dreamy and sociable and out there and outgoing, but not having the potential as a long-term partner. So he's still very much involved in her life, and I feel like he's still very much on the end of the phone if she needs any advice. I do feel like they have that friendship, but there's not, you know, he was never going to be a long-term partner, and that's okay, and I feel like they're both absolutely okay with that. And to be fair, because her life is so balanced, there's not too much to say. I did see when I tapped into her energy that she will actually be in another film, so I don't know how near, off or close that is, but there's another film there for Mariah Carey. I feel like Mariah Carey will always be involved in music, and oh, okay, there's 2 awards to come to Mariah Carey as well, like legendary awards, and I see that spanning over the next 3 or 4 years. So there's 2 legendary, 2 specifically, I'm being told, 2 legendary awards to come from Mariah Carey. I feel like she will always have trouble sustaining a relationship. I'm going to be entirely honest, I don't see Mariah Carey with a long life partner, but I feel like she's okay with that. She's okay with meeting new people and having people come in and out of her life, because like I said, her life is incredibly balanced. So for every person that leaves, someone comes into it, and some people's lives and life journeys and life paths are just like that. So let's just pull some angel cards, because specifically these were to come for her. I'm going to be honest, there's not too much to say on Mariah. I'm telling you now though, she is a strong woman, and I can just feel that from the energy that I'm picking up, because I can feel that she's been through a lot, but she's always picked herself back up. Literally. I don't know what better card I could really have picked on Mariah Carey, but there we go, the energy is aligned. So Saint Germain, karma releasing, move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. I'm not surprised to see a karma related card in Mariah Carey's reading, because Mariah Carey's path is very karmically aligned. Okay, so like I said, for every good thing that happens in her life, something bad; for every bad, something good. It's very, very, very karmically driven, okay? Very much so. If you go back now and you look at Mariah Carey's life, you will see that. Very karmically driven. Very, very karmically driven. And just pick one more. Cosmic Gateway. Yeah, she's yeah. I knew it! Every time I pull on this deck for a celebrity, magic manifesting comes out. So, very spiritual lady, very, very spiritual, and I don't think she's openly spiritual about it. But if you were to go into Mariah Carey's house, you'd see a lot of incense, you'd see a lot of Buddha ornaments, you'd see a lot of wind chimes, a lot of dream catchers, a lot of spiritual ornaments. She's actually very, very spiritual, and she connects very highly with spirit. And because of that, I feel like she always has. I feel like that's the reason her mum was there. I feel like that's something she grew up around, because I feel like even though her childhood was quite traumatic, I feel like her mum had strong faith, and I don't know whether her mum was quite religious or something like that, but she grew up having strong faith. Faith is very important in Mariah Carey's life. It's something she's driven by. No matter how much she gets knocked down, she has strong faith, and she's very protected by spirit and her own angels and her own spirit guides. So we've got Isis Magic Manifesting, which says your dreams, visions and goals are becoming a reality. Stay focused. When Mariah Carey sets her mind, and it didn't come out here, but when Mariah Carey sets her mind to something, she can achieve it. So it didn't come out here, but when I was shuffling for her before, the Magician card kept flipping over, and the Magician card is basically someone who can create their own life path and doesn't have to try very hard to do so. As a magician, they can magic up whatever it is they need. And Isis Magic Manifesting is very similar. So, you know, she knows how to manifest things. And since being, you know, famous and in the public eye, she has been able to do that, okay? When Mariah Carey wants to work with someone, she will find a way to work with them. When Mariah Carey wants a job, she will find a way to get that job. I don't feel like she's ever, since being in the position she's in, that she's ever really had to struggle to do what she wants to do. I don't feel like she's come up against any kind of opposition. It's been very kind of smooth sailing for her. So then we have Horus Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are coming. I just feel like with Mariah Carey, her whole life is a little bit magic, and that's the kind of energy I get from her. Honestly, I've never tapped into an energy like it, to be honest. It's quite amazing. When I say she's balanced, I mean she's balanced. And she might not feel balanced all the time, like emotionally or physically. She has her bad days and good days. But she is incredibly balanced in the sense of she's incredibly spiritually aligned. The people around her, you know, the goodness outweighs the bad in everything. Like, she is a very lucky woman. You know, she is one of those people you would look at and just think, how lucky is she? She's never had to really, don't get me wrong, it hasn't been an easy ride, but like I said, when she had her foot in the door, she's been able to manifest things very, very quickly. And I don't think there'll be any real kind of negative situations coming to Mariah. I think that's it really. I feel like her life is quite content. The work is there if she wants it, but I feel like she's quite focused on being a mum right now. And the woman is very, very spiritually aligned. And that's it. That is it. Anything is it. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this reading. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit a thumbs up if you want to see more readings just like this one, and subscribe if you haven't already to see more readings every single week. I'll see you soon, lovelies. Bye.